franchise is back. He's back.
Has he got a trank gun?
Oh, that would have been a better ending. If he'd have shot him from the top of the stage, that would have been a better.
He got your ass franchise.
Hello and welcome back to the only wrestling podcast that exclusively rebooks, reviews and reimagines the worst of wrestling's past. We are Better Call Creative, and as ever, stealing a pay-per-view payday, it's Sergeant AWOL himself, Jack Chance.
Oh, well done. Hello.
And stealing a pay-per-view payday, it's Reno. It's Sam Chance.
Hello.
And I am stealing a pay-per-view payday. I am Awful Tyrus. I am Ben Chance. And if that doesn't give you an idea of what we are reviewing today, it is the murky, murky waters, the swampland of Halloween Havoc 2000 WCW.
Great.
Anyone enjoyed any of this?
Yeah, I did.
You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed
You sadist.
sections of it, yes.
Yeah.
Some bits that are intolerable.
Yeah.
It's just when it's bad, it doesn't
When it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
When it's bad, it's bad. And when it's good, it's okay.
Yeah, it's tolerable.
Good old Russo. I was trying to work out whether Russo was actually in charge at this point. I don't think there was much left of it. Because it does feel like they've already hit the bottom at this point. They're on the way back a little bit. Only a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But just having watched the War Games episode, which will be our next episode, we have seen how bad it was 1 month prior. So I do feel like it's...
I think he might have gone at this. I think he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like them tidying up a little bit.
It's like what WWE had to do. I don't know who's 99 with him. I don't know whether it's
Sullivan saw it out, I think. I think it was Sullivan looking right to the end. Or was it one of the mooks in Turner or something?
One of the other mooks.
Christ knows. But we are going back to October 29th, All Hallows Eve, 2 days before it. And the UK number one was Stomp.
Steps.
By Steps.
Yes. Gotta stop on it.
It was still around. I was going to say.
I thought the Millennium got rid of them.
That's like what everyone was saying about Jim Duggan.
You can't kill Duggan.
Come on over, baby, by Christina.
Come on over, baby.
Was the US number one. Christina Aguilera wasn't quite Duggan. I think she was like Britney Light.
You're no Duggan.
You're no Duggan at all. The Canadians, they went with the tried and tested Madonna. They got her out of the tomb that she was living in, and it was music. That was Ali G, right?
Yeah, Ali G. They loved an Ali G over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much of its time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Groove Jet by... You know who sang Groove Jet? Spiller.
Was that the one with Sophie Ellis-Bextor?
No, that's the Murder on the Dance Floor you're thinking of, isn't it?
No, that's her song, but in that one, eh?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I think it was the one that beat Victoria Beckham to number one. So, well done, Groove Jet. And they were number one in Australia.
Is that the one with Dave Bowers? What? Was it Dave Bowers, the other?
No, that was... Victoria Beckham teamed up with Dane Bowers. I mean, come on. Have a word with yourself.
It's like when it's Sniper and Vincent turn up. Two most pointless members of your team.
The box office was topped by Meet the Parents. Not Meet. Meet the Parents. And Tekken Tag Tournament 1.
Oh, very good.
Re-released.
That big one with Tekken Bowl on it.
Yeah.
Tekken Bowl.
The best Tekken tag.
Yes.
How many have they done?
They only two Tekken tags.
They ain't done a more modern one.
They did Tekken Tag 2 on PS3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But they ain't
near
done
the end of the PS3 cycle, which was good as well.
Yeah,
We did have bowling.
Yeah, I mean, when you buy a fighting game, you want to bowl. Bowling. And West Bromwich Albion, 0001 season, obviously was quite a success. We finished 6th. Podcast, we lost 2-0 to Grimsby.
Yeah, never change.
Never forget.
We've come a long way.
They've got on the treble, haven't you?
They did win the treble and beat Everton 3-1 on the same weekend.
Was it Michael Owen? Was it?
It was. Michael Owen did score. Kevin Campbell scored for Everton.
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
R.I.P. Kevin.
R.I.P. Kevin. I don't know who scored for Grimsby.
There you go. Paul Raven.
I do love the
only Grimsby play, you know. Most of them played for us at some point.
Yeah, most of them. We cast them off. They come back and beat us. I assume they went down that year, didn't they, Grimsby?
No, it was 2002-03 they went down.
Yeah, they hung on.
And then they went down again the following year.
Good.
They dropped down.
Bugger off, Grimsby. So, we're on heading to Las Vegas, which has hosted, I think he said the last 5.
Yeah,
Halloween
the
Havoc.
MGM Grand.
MGM
We've
Grand.
also hosted UWF.
Fabulous. And I love that Tony goes, they're split over the main event, and we go to 2 people, and one of them says Goldberg's going to win, and the other one says Goldberg can destroy Kronik. They're not split, Tony.
It's just whether he wins by pinfall or he destroys him. And even then it's confusing when we watch the actual show.
This whole show is so weird. Anyway, it's All Hallows Eve, and it's time for the unexpected. We see the stars in WCW in red as we get a rundown of the matches, and a little plug for EA's backstage assault.
Dear me.
You can't say they didn't go really heavy on the advertising. They wanted to make this a success.
Buy this game.
You would have thought if you'd have played the game, you would not advertise that game.
That shit. Just like the company.
Why did they have it on the ring? There's no ring in backstage or something.
Well, that's it, yeah, exactly.
Should have just been out backstage all over the place.
Yes. World Tag Team title match to start us off then, as we are told by Tony Schiavone that he is joined tonight by Mark Madden and
Stevie Ray.
I put Mike tonight, but he was not there at all.
He's playing the part of Mike
Stevie Ray. We see that the Boogie Nights had won the belts in Australia. The Boogie Nights, by the way, is Disco Inferno and Alex Wright. Disco Inferno, 1 month prior, is in the Filthy Animals.
I know, yeah.
And I think, was Alex Wright Berlin?
Alex Wright was Berlin.
Yeah. So now they're together.
With the wall.
Which is very confusing.
Which, in fairness, is a state. I can understand the link between Disco Inferno and Alex Wright.
That
They've
was a
already
team.
been a team, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, with Tokyo Magnum, or it?
Yeah.
Was it 98 or something?
What the fans want is them back together,
Yes.
obviously. But they'd won the belts in Australia only for heel authority figure GM Mike Sanders to...
Above average, Mike.
What a crap name! So our champs remain as Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare, and the crowd go mild. Mark Madden hypes them up and likens them to the Steiners and Harlem Heat. I think Mark Madden was taught how to be a heel commentator on Ecstasy, because I've never known anyone. There's no nuance to him at all. Everyone who is heel, I am so over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, at least with JBL, he just decided I hate the Miz.
You pick one person and I hate you.
Yeah, even in the feud between America and Canada, he's on Team Canada's side.
I hate the Yanks as well.
You am a Yanked.
It's a three-way dance anyway, so we've got the Boogie Nights going up against the Natural Born Thrillers and going up against the Filthy Animals, which are represented by Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. And Conan joins the commentary, making Sam sad. But here we go. So, Alex Wright is bald now. He drops down Jindrak and teams up with Kidman. I think they're trying to get over that there's always going to be 3 in the ring.
Yeah.
Which I do think is quite a nice little, touch on it, because never quite understood in
two
why you would stand out on the ring apron if it's a one pinfall.
Just have one person in the ring and you can tag to your partner. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think you should do anyway. Kidman and Wright hit a double suplex onto the top rope before Wright turns on Kidman. There's a tilt-a-whirl head scissors on Wright, but he blocks a Bronco Buster to the boot. With a boot to the balls of Ray. Ray is caught on a tilt-a-whirl slam by O'Hare, who power lariats down Disco and Ray. Disco then uses a sunset flip to DDT O'Hare, and Disco and Ray now team up on the champs. They can't agree on a pin though, and Ray turns on Disco, hitting him with a stalling splash. Disco then hits a leg sweep and a top rope clothesline. There's a missile drop kick by Wright. Wright and Jindrak hit double flapjacks onto Kidman. There's a triple suplex in the corner, but Kidman survives. Ray then hits a springboard leg drop. There's a high knee by O'Hare. Kidman is thrown to the outside by the Thrillers. Wright then catches Ray as he's thrown in and nearly wins it. But Ray hits a springboard over onto O'Hare. Kidman nearly steals it with an unprettier. Then the Bronco Buster is hit by Ray. Everyone's in. Disco hits the stunner. What does he call his stunner? Chartbuster. On Jindrak. Ray stops the pin, and then O'Hare comes off the top, hitting his swanton. And the champs retain. Jack, thoughts on our opening contest?
Well, I thought it was okay. I think it filled the gap of the Cruiserweight title being the flippy, fly around match that, TNA patented really, with the X Division. I think this does it well. There are a lot of selling or psychology to a certain degree, but you don't want that really. You just want to start the crowd off hot with this sort of schmoz match.
Yeah.
So everybody just gets in, does the stuff, does some flips, does some moves over the top rope, and keeps the crowd quite hot, I would say, throughout. You got Kidman and Ray, who people care about, Alex Wright and Boogie. Alex Wright and Disco are at least characters, and O'Hare and Jindrak are probably the right winners because they're the green ones and keep them over and keep them strong. So I thought it was decent.
I thought it was a good blend actually, because I think that the two workers for the bumps was Ray and Kidman who did it well. I actually think Alex Wright is a good worker, and you can see that he's got good mechanics, although I just think he lacks a lot of charisma, so they try and layer this on him, and he just never
dancing German.
Disco is a really strong character, but probably not quite as good at the mechanics. And then the Natural Born Killers Thrillers are massively green, but can do some big spots for big jacked up bastards. So I don't really, I didn't really hate it. I thought it was probably the right winners for the show. I thought Ray and Kidman obviously just stand out. The only little criticism was just having Conan on commentary to watch his team lose. I never quite understand why you have the guest commentary spot if he's not going to either get involved during the match or...
the only reason he's there is for the afterbirth to lead into his match later.
And even that makes no sense.
Nothing really comes of it.
But that was the only thing, and I'm very, very fed up with Madden. I know I'm sounding like Sam already, but... I'm struggling with. I'm going to struggle with Madden.
Both on him. Stevie Ray's trying, but he's.
I don't think Stevie Ray's that bad, but I think he fails. Well, where I think he fails is he needs Madden to go away so he can learn from Schiavone and maybe Scott Hudson or something. Because it's got to be really hard to get in when Madden is on the stick because he's so heavy.
He's too over the top.
He's probably a two-man booth kind of guy, but even then, he's too much.
Sure up, I'd say.
So?
But I enjoyed the match. It was alright. Good mix, as you say, of all the different styles and that. And obviously Kidman and Ray was the proper workhorses in this.
Yeah.
But you can tell that the Natural Born Thrillers, by the end of the first hour, you're sick of them.
Yeah, that's the problem with these massive groups, and they're so intrinsically tied to everything. There's a spot after the next match, which just blows my mind, in terms of how quick Reno is, because he goes from in the ring to backstage.
Yeah.
But anyway, because they've obviously booked a lot of matches tonight, and they ain't got a lot of time because basically Conan justifies his payday by getting kicked and beaten down. Sergeant AWOL comes out he got nothing to do
No,
with Conan.
he's in a different group. What are you doing here?
Just go out.
And he just attacks everyone, and he just starts setting up for his hardcore match around a complaining Conan. And here comes Chunky Reno. There's no breathe to this pay-per-view at all. Just straight into a hardcore
Fucking
match.
relentless.
It's the hardcore title. Anything of any note to say about Sergeant AWOL or Reno in terms of what they become?
That's the wall, brother.
Is that it? Is that it? It's just the wall.
He replaced
He goes into.
Does he become the wall? He's been the wall.
He's been
the wall. Now he's Sergeant AWOL.
But then he goes
stays
back
there.
to the wall when he goes to...
Yeah, he turns heel when
Australian
Chavo leaves the Misfits.
He becomes Malice in TNA.
Malice.
This is in the main. He fights Shamrock for the belts, basically.
Yeah, the last time.
And Reno just
Is he
sort of disappears from the earth, I think. He gets fired by WWE and gets fired pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Is he one that picked
he's
up?
one that picked up, and then they just went, "You shit."
We're a
Back
little
to-
toad.
Yeah.
It was back to developmental. Nah, fuck off.
Well, I mean, there's no sort of... They don't pace anything at all because 10 seconds in, AWOL's been flapjacked through a table. It's two.
This is what you want to see. I'll give it you straight away.
Yeah. Reno smashes AWOL in with a steel pan and a trash can. Then he recovers and decks Reno with a kendo stick and dumps him onto the top of the steel. There's old school hardcore is said a fucking lot by Mark Madden.
Yeah.
It's very, very annoying. The
What is new school hardcore?
Well, exactly. I mean, this
I think
what
it's
is
because the gimmick was they'd have to start backstage all the time
Yeah.
for him, I think.
so now this is now old school because it starts in the ring.
In the ring, yeah. I think so. I think that must be what it is.
Brilliant. The trash can is put on the head of Reno, and to be fair, AWOL just boots the shit out of it. Just absolutely boots it. He repeats the head. He repeats the spot. We're backstage at assault time. We're heading backstage, but Reno stops. He hits a reverse neck breaker.
Rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He finishes.
Move! Let's just move!
2 tables are stacked up next to the stage by Reno, so obviously he's going through it. And he does. That's the finish spot. No, we just have a walk off.
Backstage.
Immediately he's up. They're beating each other up backstage. There's an old school PC which is thrown at Reno.
Chunky.
His chunky PC. AWOL is then Irish whipped through a table for a 2, which Madden suggests Reno set that up and suckered him backstage. Oh yeah, before he went through 2 tables himself.
That was the plan.
The computer is now used. We head past Gorilla. Poor Finley, he gets decked.
It's a bump.
So funny, just goes, he's a maniac! AWOL is on top as he sandwiches Reno's head between 2 steel pans. AWOL's selling is, this whole spot. So we know at the finish. He's trying to set up a table. And I think the idea is that he's going to set the table up, whack him with a chair, spin it round so he can slot drop him through the table. But as he stumbles like a big old giant, he knocks the table flat. So when he hits the slot drop, it's already flat on the floor. And that's enough to beat him, by the way. And that's not his finish. But
It was a roll of the dice.
is that what he could?
Well, he does the twist there.
Yeah,
It's like
did he do that? I thought it was just the slot drop. that he did that time.
Because earlier when he does it, Shivani says no one's ever kicked out of it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why is
AWOL
that
just got
protected?
up.
But he ain't pity. I mean, he's just carried on fighting.
Why are you protecting Reno?
I don't know. I mean, it was clunky. I mean, if you actually look at 2000's hardcore, it probably is just meh. Like, it lacks a lot of character. The whole match, both the wrestlers and the match.
Yeah.
I just think it's 2 bland, boring characters, green wrestlers, and very, very average hardcore core spots. But even with the 2 big spots in the match, they aren't the finish spots. So, you've got to build. If you're going to do hardcore, build to the, this
Big
is the
stuff.
spot.
Yeah,
Don't do it in the middle and then just end with something that wasn't as effective as the thing you did 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There's no money in these pair.
Oh, it's just the usual hardcore brawling shit, but there's lots of tables, but I know that was the Wolves gimmick or
Yeah, it was
at the
table
time, and there was a spot where I think he tries to put Reno through the table. I think it's the one after he throws the computer screen. But Reno sort of like jumps and like tries to put his leg on the table.
On the table, yeah, it's an horrible spot.
Yeah. What are you doing?
It's an horrible looking spot. Plus the backstage element is just they go in that little room that is obviously set up as a this is where we'll have our hardcore
fight in there.
And poor Finlay, Jack.
Well, I didn't hate it as much as you two. I thought it was okay. I do agree that the double table spot was wasted and pointless. They had a bit too much time for me. They only had 9 minutes, but they should have only had about 5 for what they needed to do. And they fucked up the finish, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Because if the table was at least slanted, I think is what they wanted, and then he did the roll of the dice, which they loved at that point.
Yeah.
It would have been okay. I don't mind Reno being hardcore champ, he looks a little,
mushroom.
whatever the fuck he is, mushroom.
The hardcore belt by its very nature can really be held by anyone.
Yeah, and AWOL is fine for it.
Get it to the green loft,
character to it. So I didn't hate it too much. The finish was a bit shit and it was a bit too long, but for what it was, I was slightly entertained because I expected a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. If you have very low expectations, it's probably not the lowest.
I had low expectations. You still did.
What Sam wants is more natural born thrillers crap. So we head backstage. They head out initially to beat down Sarge. Then the Misfits and Action come out. They clear out the thrillers, and then as Reno's walking up, we cut immediately backstage, and Reno is with the group.
Yeah.
And they're all backstage now.
All dressed.
And dressed.
Talking to Shane Douglas. And,
yeah.
Can't really say anything, just Boulder Holder, really.
Basically, sort of curry in favour with them is the main crux of it.
beat them up, well done.
Goldberg has his streak on the line against Kronik, and we put over an injury angle for Goldberg tonight. He's not yet arrived. The best bit of this.
They've got to go and pick him up from over the road.
Yes. Yeah, he's playing the 2P machine.
Is he on again?
Madden is fat, sign reads, and that was the best bit of this. Kronik, why have they made a thing about making the commissioner, the athletic commissioner character? But Kronik badly cut a promo about saying, hey, you'll make sure that he's injured, All right.
He can't fight. Hold on, you're supposed to be the badass.
I don't understand. Why are these heel? Because they weren't heel.
I don't really know what they am, because I'm obviously watching it for my own entertainment because I'm weird. And I don't really know what they are even on that.
Well, considering what we saw a month before, what they was doing, they was pretty much trying to be the APA.
Well, I can kind of get the APA at the charm that they could, in theory, be hired by the heels, but they always come out feeling like they're the good guys. I don't know what this is. I just don't know what it is. And I ain't being funny, like, if that is their gimmick, that you have to protect them because they're the dominant badass, they will beat everyone down. Don't book them into a handicap match where they will be squashed in the main event by one man. Because what is the point? They don't have the APA in a handicap match against Kane losing together because they didn't kill him. Who booked this shit? You've got the whole Natural Born Thrillers. You could have had a 6-on-1 if you wanted and got Goldberg go through the lots.
You've got to protect bikes then.
Well, we see what Kronik did on the Nitro a month before, and that's how you book them.
Don't worry, Sam. More Thrillers. They're on the way out. And they're going to face Corporal Cajun, who is Lash LaRue, and Lieutenant Loco, who is Chavo Guerrero.
This match was just added.
This match was just added. Yes, it was just added.
Why?
Yes.
Why did
what we needed was another inconsequential match. And I hate tag teams I hate groups that have got multiple tag teams in them. It always confuses me because, Why have the Thrillers decided that their B team is Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stacey?
Perfect event.
Yeah, they've got a name within the team.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Loco drop kicks and hip tosses Palumbo. There's a side suplex and Cajun with a leg drop. There's a rep rope clothesline by Loco. Takes over, only to be dumped over the top by Palumbo. And I don't know whether he was supposed to or he really mistimed it. Palumbo and Stasiak have been having troubles lately. Have we ever heard that in a tag team before? There's a double flapjack to Loco. Backstage assault is heading to N64. Cheers, Down.
Right.
Nice sit-out powerbomb by Stasiak. A fall-away slam and an arrogant cover for a 1 count. Palumbo hits a nice belly-to-belly throw for a 2. Loco is pressed high but reverses with a face plant. The heels double-teamed, clothesline down Cajun, sleep a whole time. The crowd just don't give a crap.
No,
I feel bad for Lash LaRue because he's trying to build the sort of awe, and he even has the hope spot where he gets out and goes back into it. No one cares. No one gives a shit.
Interesting.
Cajun tries to build the heat, crowd don't care, so he ignores them and he hits a springboard base planter. Loco with a real nice drop kick. I mean, I know what we're going to say at the end of this match in terms of the quality of the wrestlers in it.
Yeah.
A DDT by Loco. Palumbo is confused. He ends up eventually super kicking his own partner Stasiak, and Loco hits a spinning DDT out the corner for a 3. Sam.
I mean, it was okay, but why did you need to add it?
On a
Why
card
not
that's
just
already
leave
got
it?
10 matches. Like,
Yeah, so why was this needed? And I thought the Thrillers were feuding with the Filthy Animals.
and now they're feuding with the MIA because Sergeant Abel randomly came out earlier.
Came out earlier and then had a fight with Reno for the hardcore.
We now hate you.
So who's feuding with who? Why is Shane Douglas all of a sudden around? Because he feuded with the Filthy Animals,
None of
which
this.
we'll see in a bit. So what's going on?
Yeah, I just think
I'm lost.
it was sure it's probably needed a storyline to help the match. In fairness to the men in it, so there's no heat because there is no obvious storyline. But because there's no like massive megastar in the match, it's just like okay, that's fine. Again, I mean, I think that you can obviously see the two levels in terms of a proper in-ring ability. Cajun and Loco are much better than Stasiak and Palumbo. And they're obviously investing their time trying to invest the story of Stasiak and Palumbo breaking up, which I don't know whether that goes anywhere. Because I think they do move out of tag teams together, don't they? Because it's O'Hare and Palumbo eventually.
I think Stasiak goes to his putting his picture on people's chests.
Yeah. It's just, but they both remain. They always, to me, remained heels. Anyway,
Not cheering you.
Yeah, but again, Chavo worked very, very, very hard to try and get something out of Sean and Chuck. The problem, I think, is the fact that there's just no proper development for them pair, and they're always going to just remain there. The fact that we moved so quick, and I mean so quickly backstage as well after this match.
That annoys me.
There's no time to breathe. This is supposed to be a dissension spot. They've just kicked it. They don't even give you 20 seconds of them trying to fight each other or arguing. You wouldn't know whether it was dissension unless the commentary tell you.
Exactly.
Just because there's no time, don't put it in. Sometimes you're doing a disservice to the story by trying to squeeze it in.
Sure, it in.
Jack?
Yeah, I think it was a Thunder tag match that just happened on a pay-per-view. There was nothing offensive per se, but
if you want offensive, it's coming up.
Oh yes, you'll get quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is, it's just a fine little tag match, nothing great. Chavo does well. Chuck Palumbo was called up far too early.
Way too early.
But they just lost everyone
Yeah.
in the undercard, so they had to call up all the power plants. And the one little story that they had of the dissension, they didn't, like you say, give it at least 20 seconds after the match to just show a bit of arguing or whatever, and that's all that. Then the match would have meant at least something because we've got a story coming out.
Yeah.
But we've just went, no, Conan's hurt his knee. It's what the fuck? The whole reason that match exists is surely for that bit at the end. That is all that mattered from it.
Yes.
And we didn't get it.
If you book this pay-per-view into 3, we're heading into stormy waters.
Yes.
Because this next block of matches is not as fun. Conan is hurt and he ignores his friends.
I'm going out anyway.
He did it out anyway. And then it's time for franchise.
I wrote down, before it happened, Shane Douglas cuts a promo.
Cut the damn music.
Yeah.
Get your ass franchise.
And I also wrote, because that's what he does, and he don't let me down. I love you, Shane.
That's why every time I see him,
I love him.
I'm confused by the man. I am very confused because I'm watching on normal shoots and he seems like a nice bloke and that. He's an okay wrestler. But he's very overrated as a talker.
Massively unlikable though, and he's
He
just
is.
that's what I like about him.
Really.
As Shane Douglas the wrestler, he is horrible. But he's brilliant. I think part of the charm is just that when he's talking, he thinks he's cutting hard times.
Yeah. And you listen, and it's just the same franchise music. And the laugh as well. So, Jesus,
And he looks so old.
One day he went from that plucky early 1990s Shane Douglas to I've had enough of this shit.
Paul Heyman hired him, and all of a sudden my face is tired. And I've got a bit fat.
Oh dear. So he calls Conan stupid for not staying down. This is a mixed tag match, by the way, with Tori Wilson, who's dressed like Wonder Woman. He says that Conan and Tigress's taking away of Shane Douglas and Tori's moniker as the first couple of wrestling is not going to happen. And he invites Tigress down.
What?
Because if she comes to the ring, she's going to get her ass.
She's a hot Conan, maybe you and your people are too stupid to understand that when you've had your ass beaten, stay down, stay out of the game.
Your people, what did he mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by his people? Now you and that bitch Tigress think you're coming out here and taking away our title as the first couple of sports entertainment? Well, you're wrong. Since those men called Jindrak and O'Hare taught you a lesson earlier, Conan, it seems, Tigress, you have no partner. So if you want to come out here, Tony, and let's say, Tony, get your ass franchised, well, come on down, baby. Tony,
franchise.
Is it when Tori starts talking on this, or is it the other show we did?
I think it's the other show.
Oh, okay, we'll get back to that then.
Is it?
I don't think she talks on this.
I don't
No,
think she does.
it's on the next one, but you just realise...
It all does now.
Have you been sucking a balloon or something?
Yeah, Tori talks on the next.
I don't think you should ever have Tori talk because it sounds like a babyface. So I don't think she's got the sort of gravitas or the bitchiness to her to be a proper... like Sherry Martel or anything like that. I mean, I got the gravitas to. Anyway, Tigress.
Why do I hate you?
Tigress isn't backing down. She comes out. She immediately tries to kick Douglas, but he's taken down. Then just poops him in his franchise balls. Franchise stops her. They stall for Conan to get out to ringside. I'm not sure why. We seen him leave earlier.
Does he come out through the crowd or all? That's what I got. Like, why? You were just backstage.
Not mention anyone.
You're in this match.
So stupid, isn't he? Conan hits a double clothesline and hits Rolling Thunder.
My knee's fine. I have not sold it at all.
It's gone, isn't it? You wouldn't even know. There's a terrible double baseball slide by the baby faces. We double up outside. Tigress hits a double axe handle and arm bars Douglas. Why? Who asked for this? The faces work over Douglas. Tigress bites his arm, and then he just punches him in the face. Tori is in, works Tigress into the corner. She stops her, and it's an X Factor for a 2. I can't remember what they call it for Conan. Conan's X Factor. Something daft, anyway. They're probably drug related.
Probably the K Factor, I think.
Yeah, it might be. Tori recovers quicker than Tigress, even though Tigress hits the X Factor for a 2. Douglas then chinlocks down Tigress. Why we got?
He beats up women.
Douglas works a hammerlock. Tigress then embarrasses Douglas a little, and Conan with a hot tag and hits a DDT. Tigress works Tori into the corner as Douglas takes 10 punches. Charles Robinson is pulled in the way of Tigress's Bronco Buster because he's 2,000 and we day bucket. Conan is then franchised by Tori Wilson, who legitimately beat him, by the way. He was not kicking out of that franchise belly to belly. Tigress has to save Conan from a Tori Wilson. Is this a video game? Is this SmackDown v Raw? Like, what the fuck is this?
Know anymore.
Conan simply gets up, and he and Tigress then immediately hit X Factors and win.
What a finish. I love that finish. just get up and be tagged and win.
What the fuck? There is no words to describe how crap most of this was. Like, we've seen much, much, much worse from a mechanical point of view, and the storyline point of view, but it was bad on both. I mean, the fact that Conan literally was beaten by Tori Wilson during the match, and franchise sold most of Tigress's offense. I mean, I get he's the heel a little bit, so I kind of can accept. Hogan was wrist locked by Jay Leno. I can kind of dispel my belief a little bit. But Jay Leno didn't hit Hogan with a franchise belly to belly and nearly beat him. Like,
I want to see that now.
I've just ended my rant with the word stink. And stink. I can't stress how poorly booked this was. And then the ending, it didn't as if like, oh well, you know, you've done something creative to get the baby faces the win. Like, they just got up and won. Like, and he was injured. Why have you done the injury angle to give him an out to lose a match that he just then wins?
They don't even sell anything of it.
This is so bad, Jack.
Yeah, it's ain't very good. Look, Tori can't wrestle anyway, and a rare wrestler. And Tigress is okay, but it is so strange the piecing together of the match and the spots and what they're going through. I don't even know why they're fighting really. I think Shane Douglas tries to sort of highlight Tigress by, you know, doing the thing where he runs around and doing the hammerlock and gets dumped out and all that shit, to get bitten and all that. But it just falls apart. Like, Conan's obviously got an ego, even though he did allow Tori Wilson to clearly beat him. But that's the feud.
I bet they don't show that in Mexico.
Well, it's just... This is the match where it did start. I felt like the pay-per-view started to unravel, and it doesn't get any better.
To be fair, I think it unravelled after the first match.
We are falling apart here. We are falling apart here. So,
this is awful, That's just basically my note. This is awful.
it really is. Really
Fucking
is.
awful.
Well,
Although Shane Douglas, when I do see him, he does make me smile now just because of you.
I actually think he was the best worker in this match by a mile as well.
MVP.
Well, in this match, he
Did the whole company.
He was the friend.
The problem is Shane Douglas is basically just Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
We've got
Oh God! Oh God! Yes,
He is.
he's got that's a good.
He definitely is Chalk Ice at home, Jeff Jarrett.
We've got both of them, and they're both the same gimmick.
Did Stacey Keebler have sex with Buff Bagwell, and is he the father of her unborn child? Who cares? Well, Mean Gene does. He asked David Flair about it.
Call the hotline.
And he tells him, well, he's there with... You have to highlight what the plan is here, because he's there with some doctors, because he's going to steal some blood. Is it First Blood? I don't think it is. It's
a DNA match.
First blood DNA. Yeah.
But then when the person is busted open, they've got to still pin them by the looks of things. But anyway, I think he wins by 10. Does he not win by pin?
No, just wins by bleeding.
Is Buff the face in this feud?
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
It is
Well,
weird.
that's the thing that don't make sense in this feud is that the babyface is the one who's going, I ain't keeping you with DNA.
Well, the original
But
plan
then-
was Flair
well-
was going to be the...
I know the plan was Flair. But Bagwell's
Flair.
promo at the start of this match just...
It
It's
just-
like,
You know the other...
we're going to find out if I'm the daddy. It's like, well, that means you think you're going to lose. I mean,
Yeah,
what's
The
going
other-
on?
The other side of it
That's
was
true.
apparently Russo was going to be turned out to be David Flair's dad.
Yeah, but he
Apparently.
always said that he was in his promos anyway.
Yeah.
In the one that I'm watching.
Oh, right. David Flair has the worst wrestling gear you could ever get your hands on, and he has a DNA kit and hands it to Tony.
Is he still
Schiavone.
wearing the UK Nitro tour?
Yeah. Why did they not give him some level of gear? Like,
It's
sort of
just a
stuck with that
t-shirt.
shirt.
because he's
Yeah, I think he
already
had an Halloween Havoc one beforehand, and then...
he's already like got limitations in his body, and
You've
then
got to cover his body.
you have got to
It's
cover his body.
great.
But then when you just give him the most generic of
Shirt.
stuff, I mean,
Job shirt.
it's Tommy Dreamer all over this, isn't it? This is what happened.
Bloody hell.
Scoop slamming a back elbow by the obviously heelbuff Bagwell. Twisting neck breaker on David Flair, and then he mocks him. He lays in fists to the face of Flair. Flair now as well. They try and link him back to his dad, but he's never going to do it as good. So just don't do it.
No.
He does the Flair bump off the top, not as good as Flair. He does the Flair flop, not as good as Flair. Buff Bagwell and mocks Flair's lack of muscles by ripping off his shirt and making him flex. He does recover a little bit, but he can't pile drive Buff outside. Flair grabs a chair, brings it in, but of course he's used by Buff. Flair hides his head, but he has been lacerated. Buff then hits the blockbuster and wins. You want some Lex Luger? Here's Lex Luger.
This is
Lex
his return to the company.
The hell happened
Just wanders out in the baseball cap.
I love the fact that Tony Schiavone says he turns on everyone. Don't be surprised. He's a fact. He turns.
I think Tony Schiavone would just get up.
No, well, I would be treating everybody. He turns on Buff. Buff ain't bladed though because he's obviously a preener. So he'll just bust open his mouth a little bit.
I'll have a blood capsule under the ring.
Flair takes the blood. He hands it to the officials backstage, and we immediately cut to Goldberg walking past him ignoring all this
Did his head go off?
This is absolute.
Goldberg still selling.
selling his
I'm
concussion.
going to set the tone. I actually have no issues with this match at all, other than the fact it exists as a storyline.
story.
I would not have booked the storyline. But if you are going to do it, Buff Bagwell has to batter David
Yeah, I
Flair
agree with
because he's David Flair, and Buff Bagwell also has to lose in some form for us
By
to
having
continue the
Luger come
story.
out and hit
Yeah.
him with a chair, have him bleed, and then go, okay,
And do it that
David
way.
Flair's won. Okay, I've got it. Yeah, I'm off, stumbling off.
Yeah, I suppose that might have been a slightly better way to do it to give David Flair a win as well.
Like Luger!
Do a promo instead of a match. Have Luger come out in Buff Bagwell's promo, and that causes him to bleed, and then Flair can come out and be the sneaky little gnome from Golden Axe and thing and run off.
I'm
Why
trying.
do we have to have a match?
Well, exactly. I'm not. I'm struggling to understand the booking strategy here. So we should hate David Flair because he wants to find out whether Stacey Keebler cheated on him and the father of the baby that
Well,
he
she admitted she cheated on him by saying it's not yours, so he wants to find out who it is.
and the fact that he
It
don't
must
just
be Buff.
the fact that he don't just believe Stacey that it's his baby makes him a heel and a maniac. I don't get it. It just
No, she actually said the baby isn't yours.
so why does he care?
But then later on, it turns out she never was
If it
pregnant.
ain't Buff, it's got to be Duggan.
So it came out with a little too much. I mean, I can't stress to you how much I hate this storyline.
Oh, it's shit.
But in terms of the actual mechanics of a match, he battered David Flair, and that's probably what I would have expected to see. David Flair took an arse kicking. That's probably the minimum I could have expected from him. I'll probably take your point, Sam. I think there was probably a bit more creativity he could have done with Luger than Here's Luger.
Wonders how to know I'm turning.
And then he goes, hey, why? And you tag teaming by the end of the year. They're totally buffed.
I'm sorry.
Yes, this is very confusing.
Sam?
Well, shit story. No one likes it. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And I've just put why Lex Swerve. I'm just very confused when they said, oh, he's back. And they,
Wait, got to it yet. But I don't understand
I
how they
assume
wrap
they
that up.
must go off into a feud.
I assume so. Well, there was
I don't
feuding
understand
during
what-
the first bit of the
What
new
the
blood.
point of him?
So is that why he's come back to attack him, even though he acted as his
Maybe,
friend?
I don't know
Why
what-
has he turned on him? Like, why does he care?
Yeah, why did he raise his hand? Why, if there was feuding before he went, why did he come back and then attack him?
God knows. He's just been turned on by Shane Douglas in March, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh, Buff.
Yes,
Oh, all right. This went Buff.
he's come back and then...
This is when-
Somebody gets suspended out of the two,
Buff.
and they have to.
Buff got
forfeit the
suspended,
tag,
he's come
don't they?
back and he immediately gets turned on by his own partner.
This is when Buff's in that sort of awkward phase of having so much charisma that the fans like him, but so the back office don't realise that they like him because he is a heel. And then they
And that turn him face.
They've done it with the Miz, they've done it with Carly. Oh, it happens all the time. These bookers, they don't understand that we like him because they are the heel, and we accept this is the perfect role for Buff.
Yes.
Look at him, he's a heel. Obviously, he's a heel. He doesn't even change the way he works. He's a heel. Jack, thoughts on the match?
Well, the story is awful. It's just bollocks. But Buff beating the shit out of him, it has to happen. He does wrestle a bit like a town hall match.
Yes.
For most of it.
Town hall
But I don't
match.
mind it because it's like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
He's absolute bollocks. It should have just been a segment and not
yeah.
a match. He just
I
could
don't
have had
think
a
he needed it
promo.
on the
He
paper.
could have just had Buff come out. I'm having a promo. You know, he wants to know if on the
Okay,
day. He ain't ever going to know if I'm buffed her or whatever he said. I don't know what he said. I buffed her. And then Luger can come out as a return, bust him open, and then David Flair can do
Takes
a little
the blood.
sneaky thing, and at least then you've got what you need without having a match that becomes absolutely pointless
Yeah.
2 seconds after it's finished because he got his blood anyway.
So the one who lost won.
So what was the point? And Goldberg's here, and he's got a bad head.
Well, as Goldberg has arrived, the backstage announcer, I don't even make note of her name, asks Scott
Is it
Steiner.
Pamela Polshock? Is it
I don't know, but I'm sure we're Goldilocks in TNA,
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's Pamela Polshock.
where everybody just hated her.
Well, Pamela references Goldberg to Scott Steiner, who isn't happy for mentioning that punk-ass Goldberg that he beat last month. All right, Scott. He says it will make Booker T understand that size does matter. There will be pain, and nobody is getting up from the Steiner recliner. He is mad. So,
At least they've got something
Oh
right.
my word!
we've had 2 matches off. We're back to it. Here's the Natural Born Killers. Bollocks. Here we come. Sean and Chucky. Why Mike Sanders has gone, I'll take 2 that hate each other. We'll go together. But anyway. Mike Sanders definitely learned old school. He watched all the tapes of the 1970s in terms of how to cut a heel promo.
He's the
Where am I? What town am I in? You're all shit.
What about that sports team?
Yeah.
He is above average.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an absolute terrible promo. He seems to have a little bit of charisma, but
He's
he's
not
very
a
old
wrestler,
school.
though. He's
The manager.
manager.
He's carrying the
At
crew,
least.
do I tell you, at this point?
Yeah.
So why they've done that as well? I have no idea.
So he mentions that he ain't no 1-round Tyson because this is a kickboxing match. So there you go.
Thanks for that.
Here's the shit cat dubbed thing.
Oh, that bim. Every time I hear that, I'm fucking hell.
And cat.
Why couldn't they just have his actual one, which was a WCW rip anyway?
I don't understand. Cat is going to kick his bitch ass.
Oh, the cat.
Yes.
Oh, what?
I mean, the fact that you're scratching around to find 2 authority figures and you go, well, who can cut a promo, but it isn't in the main event? We'll have Cat and Mike Sanders.
Jesus.
So this is for the commissionership, I think, of WCW. And it's a kickboxing match. Just what this show needs. Round 1 then. Cat lays down Sanders with a kick and a leg sweep, and Sanders makes it up at 8 twice. Cat then corners Sanders. We go into round 2. He takes him down a 3rd time. There's nice fast feet and a split uppercut as Sanders is out. He wants the towel thrown in by the cornermen, who start to argue. I'm not quite sure what they're arguing about, whether it's who should throw in the towel, or whether they should throw in the towel, or whether I should care at all.
What is going on?
But what we do need is franchise is back out. He's back.
Has he got a trank gun?
Oh, that would have been a better ending. That would, if he'd have shot him from the top of the stage, that would have been a better.
He got your ass franchised.
Chuck and Sean argue, and it distracts the referee. There's a cartwheel kick by Cat, and then Cat is. I mean, that cartwheel kick's amazing as well, by the way. And then Cat is just KO'd behind the referee's back by Douglas, who's got a set of brass knucks.
It's the chain, eh? He's
Oh, is it the chain?
Bloody chain, eh? He had the chain in the.
Yeah, a tiny little
Because you
chain.
can clearly hear the Cat at one point just shout, "Get the chain!"
See? That's
No
brilliant.
way, just
Get the
chain!
Fabulous.
Doing on praise.
What annoys me the most about this, though, is that is not enough to win the match, because Cat does make the call, but then just goes, well, I'm pissed off now. I'll fight Douglas outside, and gets counted out.
Look, there's 3 rounds and it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've just carried on.
Yeah, just so stupid. Yeah. Jack?
It's just abysmal. What the fuck is this? It's pointless garbage nonsense.
Just don't
We've
need
got a
this.
nonsense gimmick, and then we just fuck it up.
Yeah.
We've had the Cat, who's a karate man, in a kickboxing match, but we've got to have him lose, and we can't figure out how to have him lose. We've got the chain, but then we've got to protect him, so he's got to get it back up from the chain, and he can't get pinned, so he's got to be counted out. Oh my word! It is atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the predictable easy end to this is he gets hit by someone who isn't in the match and he's KO'd, and they couldn't do that. I mean, I think
the
that's
Cat called it audible and just got up.
Yeah, I think that's dull and predictable, but that would have been better than what we got.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it just takes you. Not that the pay-per-view is particularly on a strong footing at this point anyway, but it takes the pay-per-view. It just is grinding to a halt.
Nosediving.
This is just so unnecessary.
It is.
It's so unnecessary, because you end up with the situation, which is what we started with, which is Mike Sanders was the commissioner going into this pay-per-view. We have had a match and he still is. Like, what?
I don't understand.
Why?
Who needed that?
Who needed it?
It's just so stupid. So,
Oh, fucking awful. There's too much natural born thrillers. I'm sick of them now. Where was Glacier? The king of the kickboxing match. Where was he?
Where was
I come for the karate. Where is he? I mean, it was crap.
yeah, really crap. I wouldn't have minded if this was all to get back around the fact that we need to get back on track with the Sean and Chuck breakup.
Oh yeah.
But that don't happen. So it's just so crap. Anyway, the doctor's checking on Goldberg. He tells him, let him do his job. Kronik go, well, we don't care anymore because we get paid either way. How fun. Here is Mike Sanders, and he's that 70s guy, because WCW, and he is feuding with the obvious pairing is that 70s guy, Mike Awesome, and the vampire guy, Vampiro.
Yeah.
They make sense as a feud, don't they?
Yeah.
He has added a little bit more sort of goth-like look to him. He's got a bit more Marilyn Manson in here with his sort of corset that he wears now, and he's got a sword as well. Got a sword.
Well, what's so gothic about a sword?
We get a recap of tables and all that crap.
Mike Awesome winning a battle royal or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a Royal Rumble.
So we've seen that. So Mike Awesome, who is that 70s guy, let me remind you that he isn't this monster that he should have been, and you can check out our rebookings where we all do a better job than WCW. He is currently that 70s guy, and currently the number one contender to the world title as that 70s guy.
Yes.
Vampiro wants that title shot, and Mike just goes, all right, if you beat me, you can have it.
Well, come on then.
What? I understand
that Royal Rumble fight.
Yeah, I understand the babyface being a bit stupid, but like it does seem, what's he got to gain from just going, all right then?
I don't know, really.
And as soon as you do that, what you don't want is to just ignore that and nothing happen. And it don't matter.
Well.
Anyway, Mike also makes his suicide dive to the outside. We spill into the crowd, and then he uses the railings to dive onto Vampiro. Up the stands we go. Vampiro uses a fan's walking stick, and then some fan just dives on top of him.
Oh, everybody starts beating up the fan.
Gets beat up a bit. Vampiro hits a clothesline from the announce desk. There's a chair sort of sword spot where they...
I do like the fact that they were saying, is this an hardcore match?
Well,
we don't know.
At this point, the
They
rules
haven't
within the
announced
whole
it.
show just don't care. But what made me laugh with this chair sword spot is that Awesome loses, and he's the babyface. So Vampiro just has to sort of wait there for the chair to be kicked into his face. He clotheslines out the corner, hits a top rope belly to belly for a 2, and then he hits a diving... Well, I've put diving dick shot, because that was basically what it was. Yeah. He just basically hits him with his cock. Mike Awesome brings in a table. It's no DQ, or isn't it? Or I don't know.
We don't know what this is.
Yes. Nail in the coffin is hit by Vampiro.
That's his move!
I love Vampiro stuff. He's sensible enough to think, well, I'm not going to cover it. But he ain't got a clue what he's doing. Because he just gets up and wanders around.
I tell you what, man. What would protect is don't do it. You're not going to win.
He gets up.
Have Awesome, like, as you pick him up, having go back, powerbomb done.
Yeah, well, this is my point. He wanders around to go back in to get hit with an Awesome bomb. And then a top rope version of it, and the match is done.
Oh, you're dead.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
You're dead now, aren't you?
I mean, I thought it was probably a 2 to 3 out of 10 kind of match. The thing I don't get is why Awesome accepts the title stipulation and then wins cleanly.
Yeah.
Like, just don't say anything.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, after Vampiro has hit his finish, he just wanders around. I mean, the last hour of this show has been awful. Like, the last hour now of this show.
Another one left.
It's been terrible. And this match, I don't get it. I watched the whole thing, but they convinced me that I needed to watch this match at all. Like, if I just watch it in a bubble, why the hell do I care about
Completely and
this?
utterly pointless. There's no point in having this match on. It just serves to kill Vampiro off a bit more. And it doesn't really build Mike Awesome up any more than he already was.
No.
Because I know he's going to lose tomorrow. You're not going to put the belt on him. He's a 70s man now.
Yes.
So it was just
I'm
a
a 70s
waste
man
of
now.
8 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
Because it meant nothing. All it did was kill Vampiro a bit.
Yeah. The thing is, I think Vampiro did suffer by the fact that he was one of these sort of darlings that fans kind of liked because he had that gothic sort of coolness. But I've said this now end of times, he ain't brilliant in ring worker and he ain't that good on the mic. And he did suffer from the fact that I think when a new booker came in, they looked at him and went, well, he's shit, he is. Like, we don't want to push him. So every time we get a little push with someone who's interested in him, and then the thing can change and they go, oh, just shelve him, he's racked. And to be honest, he was a little bit racked. So I can kind of understand why they did. But you don't have to. Like, he's a strong enough character you could throw him out there in the main event. And because he's got character.
Yeah.
So what you don't want is just to have a 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever match on the card, destruction by Mike Awesome, who is a 70s guy.
Yes.
Like,
who's just Mike Awesome with fluffy hair.
Fluffy hair.
He ain't like kept his dignity. It's still Mike Awesome with fluffy hair.
That's got the same gear.
All he's done is washed his hair. That's it. Is that what people did in the 70s?
L'Oreal in it.
that's what I like about Mike Awesome. You can give me whatever gimmick you want. I'm Wrestling one way.
I'll just change my hair for you.
That's it.
Sam?
I got confused. Is it hardcore? I don't know. The stupid fan.
Yeah.
It was just a typical WCW match at this point.
The fan's the MVP.
Probably. He's got to be up there. Yeah. Mean Gene puts over General Rection's last shot at Lance Storm's Canadian title, which is the US title. Now, look, I'm going to sort of pull back on what I think of this match later on, but they have done, and Lance Storm especially, has done a really, really good job of being the foreign heel, and they all hate him. And there will definitely be crowd reaction. And I get the sort of conquering America, he's going to take back, Major Guns and the Canadian title. He called General Rection. Like, you cannot...
He's a stiff cock.
You've got to strip that away from him if you're going to make him the conquering patriot, because... General Rection wins. General Rection.
It's America.
It's so stupid.
America wins by cock.
And then at the end of the promo, Gene goes, "We're all rooting for you, Hugh."
He just looking at
and then that's when Chavo talks. I think he goes, "We've had enough of you, Chavo."
Chavo, you shit.
Gene at this point was just like,
What the fuck's he saying?
I've got my money. And I'm probably drunk.
Rection is back for Major Guns and everyone, and he's going to do it for this, and he's going to do it for that.
I hate fucking Hugh Morris.
I can understand why, because I think Hugh Morris is a decent enough worker.
Yeah, he's decent enough worker, but that don't mean I go not like him.
No, I can understand. He probably is more heel than babyface, definitely. Yeah. But he has got a touch of the Bradshaw about him, where you stick an American flag on his jocks and you'll believe that he is American. So I think in this storyline, it's fine, but I think he's got to be called Bill DeMott. I don't think you can call him Hugh Morris or General Rection. Just call him Bill DeMott here.
That makes sense.
Strip away
he did the whole thing about his name, Hugh Morris. That was a name given to him by people. But he kept the Hugh bit. Why keep Hugh? I mean, that's just daft anyway.
They give you a normal last name and you hated it. So you give yourself
Hugh G. Rection. Captain Rection? Why am you a captain?
This, again, it feels like we're trying to
move
away from
you captain?
it. But I think, I don't know. But I think... this is that big sort of story-driven storyline match, the big moment, the nice thing in
America.
And it will always struggle in the fact that he's named after a cock. Anyway.
A stiff cock.
Yes.
A general one.
A general.
A generally stiff cock.
We're ready now then, as Duggan's 2x4 is taken off him. Oh, by the way, Duggan is Canadian Duggan, by the way. Now.
That's to get a payday.
Yes.
This is strange, but I hardly like it.
Oh, I do as well. I love Duggan. Duggan's just up for any old shit. I love it.
Duggan just didn't give a shit.
I'm keeping myself paid, lad.
That's what he said about Vince Russo there, because Russo they wanted, but he had the contract. And they made him the janitor. He was like, I ain't bothered, because I'm now on TV.
More. Essentially, you've got to give it.
I'll get myself over. And he did.
And to be fair to Duggan, I mean, he ain't like fucking Kurt Angle, but, he ain't terrible. Like, he really is okay.
He's
solid in what he
knows what he is to it. He knows what he is.
Well, he starts us off and it's a slugfest. Duggan is handled and then clotheslined to the outside. Storm shows off his talents as he bumps big for General Rection on a back body drop. And then Storm tries flare chops, but they are now sold and reversed. There's 10 punches for Storm, but it's reversed into an atomic drop. There's teamwork now by Team Canada, who send Rection to the outside. Duggan still does his hose, that's right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. As he works over Rection. Rection barely survives and Storm hits a big super kick for a 2. There's a slam and a 3-point clothesline, but Rection also gets his arm up, so it's a double down spot. Storm is in then to sleeper hold down General Rection. Rection hits a back suplex and a second double down happens. Storm misses and clocks Duggan by accident. There's a big corner splash, and then Duggan misses and kicks Storm. There is a little bit of a creative ref bump where the ref drops on this sort of run, the rope run. Eventually, he gets bumped. Duggan just smiles. There's a pile driver by Duggan who visually wins the match.
They give
So
him a visual.
he's the champ as well. Rection then kicks it out onto the referee. Elix Skipper, who's part of this group, is out, but Guns clocks him with the Canadian flag. Storm is unhappy and chases Guns up the aisle. Rection inside hits a leg sweep and his top rope moonsault, and General Rection gets the confetti win. And the US title is back where it belongs, round the waist of General.
I mean, he does
Rection.
He does near enough miss the moonsault.
He does.
And did you hear Tony right at the end when he wins? He just shouts,
Yes! I know, he went really big.
I've got nothing to say. I just shout yes.
He did go big into
Oh, Tony.
I mean, I did put Paul and Storm, but I feel like poor Duggan as well. I like Team Canada. That's probably one of the good things on this show. And the push of Bland Storm and stuff. I mean, might slightly change when we get to the next show a month earlier. But, I mean, I do not like Hugh Morris at all. I just don't like him. So
it is difficult.
I mean, it was okay, but I'm surprised Duggan got pinned. I mean, that day happened in the WWF.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they wore a brawl to the back.
It's a fair point, really. I think at this point, I don't think he gives a shit about whether he wins or loses.
Good point. I'm getting paid, I don't care.
Storm's work here is so good. It's so good. It stands out by a mile compared to anything we've seen so far, at the very least. I consistently will stand by the fact that this would have worked much better if it was Bill DeMott and not General Election, because you're making it a gimmick by the fact that
General Election.
Politician. The comedy names at this point need to be stripped away if you're going to do this kind of storyline. But
I do fairly quickly later.
I thought everyone worked really, really hard in the match, and I thought it was pretty solid. And it was probably at the very least, I feel we've got out the quagmire we'd got ourselves into over the last 4.5 matches. Jack?
Yeah, well, it's probably the one way the story's at least okay. There's nothing wrong with the story per se. They all tried the best. Lansdowne did quite well. General Erection is okay in ring. I don't mind him like as a babyface, like you say. I don't think he's brilliant, but when you've got what you've got, he's probably in the right spot.
Yeah.
Because they're real aisles. And Duggan, bless his soul, got his visual win. I will lose, but I have to have a visual win. The title's on General Erection. We've got a nice babyface win. He wins Major Guns back, though.
Yes.
This is the thing I hate with the Major Guns thing, is why didn't they, if Canada had or whatever, why don't they cover her up and do, the conservative sort of cover up and put a T-shirt on and all that sort of shit. So that when he won her back as well, they could rip the top off and then they could have the American bikini on.
Yeah.
They can get the pop for the tits as well. But instead we don't.
Yeah, it's a good point, really,
dressed in the Canadian bikini as well, so nothing's changed. So I think they wasted that. But I think it, so far, is probably the one that feels the most complete.
Feels like I think it's probably the only one that had to happen on pay-per-view as well.
Yeah.
Like the only match so far that I thought, this is the kind of thing that is a feud ender on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Nothing we've seen so far matters.
It's a pivotal moment.
Do you realise what happens after with Major Guns?
I think it just goes back to him.
It goes back, it turns on,
I know,
goes with Team Canada.
Fabulous.
I know. I'm sure has been with them. I'm sure I've seen him with them earlier on in the year. I'm so confused by this.
And Major Guns, Major Guns has to just be in the sort of babyface, eye candy, Kelly kind of spot for me, because
the name is Major Guns, so it's basically I have breasts.
Yeah.
I am the titillation character, and that's fine.
I just think she is the King Kong damsel in distress. That's all she can play, because
She King Kong.
No, but that's you don't. There ain't no way that the woman in King Kong turns on King Kong.
It was booked by Russo.
With Mothra.
With Godzilla.
Yeah. Mayhem is built. I like the fact that they tell you exactly what's going to happen in the main event by saying, Scott Steiner is fucking mad now. Jeff Jarrett cuts a promo calling the commentator a blonde slapnut, He was dressed as Surfer Sting in the build. The production quality to these packages as well. I know they ain't got a lot of time because no one's pacing this pay-per-view. But like, I can't get invested because they don't tell the story. There's no flow or anything.
Nowhere near the level of
It's just a
WWE.
million miles away. You could have Big Boss Man and Al Snow can have that big production, and you can care about what is obviously going to be an awful match.
Terry Satin and Raven was screwed over a mop. That's produced so much better than all
Exactly.
this.
And yet you've got Jeff Jarrett and Sting, who are legitimately your top, your top babyface and heels.
In this promo, I don't really understand why Jarrett is talking about Sting's career all the time.
Well, it makes you think that he's after his career or trying to finish his career, but I don't get it. And I don't really know what's at stake here, because again,
What do you want?
it's just two people having a feud in it than just having a fight. What does he want? That's the point,
Just two stars who have got dates on the contract that can work a pay-per-view, so we'll put them together.
Yeah. But it is at the very least a bit of main event talent. So Sting is here. It's Sting. Sting attacks Jeff outside to start us off. Stinger splashes hit, and Sting hits a clothesline onto Jeff. We hear a woo! And then Surfer Sting is out. So it's a guy dressed as Surfer Sting.
Yeah, I think it's Jerry Flynn.
Is he?
He looked like Jerry Flynn to me. Anyway.
Sting
They're the one in the green who just stands at the top.
He does, and Sting just walks up and just goes, "All right, then, Sting a death drop." Don't mate, get out of here.
I wasn't that bad.
In the crowd we go, and as Jeff's attacks are failed, another Surfer Sting now appears, a purple Sting.
Oh, it's a Sergeant Pepper, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sting handles him the same way because they go into the ring, up the ramp, and it's another death drop. We sort of start off again, and then as immediately as we're about to start off, Wolfpack Sting now comes out. Sting starts to get pissed off and batters it with a bat.
What is it with this thing of having to death drop him on the stage? It must be there to provide all rest.
He's here to clean up.
It really is. Third death drop on the stage. Jeff now uses the bat, works over him on the stage, hits in a suplex.
Well, this show.
Jeff uses a chair now on the outside to the belly welly, but he can't pick up the win. There's a sleeper hold by Jeff. Sting survives 3 arm drops. Jeff then hits a back suplex to avoid a reverse by Sting. Sting goes into no-sell mode, fires up, hits a big clothesline, teases the deathlock. Now, a Crow Sting appears through the ring, drags Sting down.
That one's Chris Harris.
I think it's Chris Harris.
Is it Chris Harris?
Yeah.
Drags Sting down. Sting appears, though, and has blooded the other Sting.
Battered him.
And he's taken out. Sting is splashed to Jeff. The lights go out, and another Crow Sting drops from the rafters. Sting just immediately
We've run out of
him
Sting.
and just death drops him through the announce table.
His wig falls off.
Oh,
Like a balding man. We've run out of long hair, people.
Oh, God. Sting sets up Jeff for the deathlock, but the previous Crow Sting clocks Sting with a guitar. And he now sells that guitar shot. Hits a that's what annoys me.
Yeah.
Hits a death drop on that Crow Sting. Jeff then gets another guitar, but the second guitar always hurts
When it's
more.
wielded by Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
It's his favourite weapon.
And it KOs Sting, and that's him beat.
the chos.
I've got to be honest, it was probably the match I've enjoyed the most because it was very easy to watch.
Yeah,
The flow was very comedic. It was almost like cartoon, like it was just so comedic what was happening. I just felt like throughout the whole point, like I can believe WWE does something bonkers like this with those things, but there would have been a point. Like, there would have been a reason why Jeff is doing that to Sting, and ultimately, at the end, because all he's doing is battering them all, there would have been one where he didn't, or something that had led him in.
Yeah,
All he did, like, Jeff played these mind games, and none of them worked. If all you needed was a distraction, Jeff, you could have saved yourself a lot of money.
It's just
why have you done this?
Sent out the putties there.
It's when they turned the putties into the Power Rangers and just
Starting the Zeds on them, and they all blew up.
I couldn't quite grasp why all this was happening. Like, I was thinking,
That's the biggest thing for me.
At least with the Black
one
Scorpion, you know that the reason and stuff. But this, like, why is Jeff playing around with Sting in terms of using his past against him for absolutely no purpose to win an inconsequential third from last match on a pay-per-view?
That's the thing, and his Sting just doesn't sell any of it.
Yeah.
Like, it obviously isn't bothering the man. He is killing all of them when he sees
You need another
what
plan.
is the point in this?
I think this would have been a better return for Luger. I know they're intrinsically tight,
Yes,
but if Luger was the last one, or just a spin-off into what will be Sting's feud, even if it's just to get Jerry to win, something's got to cost him, and there's got to be a reason why Jeff's done this.
Luger coming back here probably would have been good. I've never thought of that, really.
Yeah.
In terms of his history.
Yeah, exactly, because he said about using
Not
his
just
history.
random men dressed up as what you used to dress like.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Why is everything around my clothes?
Just
I'm confused.
And then he died from another guitar.
I mean,
Yeah.
He sold it 2 seconds before.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all bollocks.
Yeah, I mean the bell to bell, both of these can work really, really well. They were both of them were working up until last year, and one of them still is working. So they're both are good workers. But I feel sorry for them having to deal with the lack of creativity and direction with the company that they're in.
Yeah, that's probably what
So-
it is.
I mean, there's so much nonsense. Well, I mean, this is the epitome of nonsense.
Yeah. There was
So,
a lot of
what is the point of this? Why am you fighting?
Yeah.
Why is there so many things?
Well, this is my point.
What's going
I
on?
can get behind anything. The wrestling is bollocks by its very nature. It is cartoon carnival bollocks.
That's
but
true.
you've got to intrinsically tie it back to a reason. So if you're trying to get into Sting's head, like he never felt like I'm getting fed up with this, or he's getting overwhelmed, or he's questioning his past, or he's looking. He just battered him.
Got another one. Oh, again.
Up to the stage we go.
Come here. Go on then.
I did like the fact that he decided the stage is where I should allow them all to rest.
He should have come up with a broom and just picked him up out.
Maybe that could have tied into the lack of Halloween that's on this show, that you could have had like loads of graves with the different versions
different
of Stings and put them in there.
It's crap. I don't understand what. It's because Sting. The whole thing is I blame my games of Sting. Sting wasn't bothered, so it was completely pointless. And then you won anyway with your own
the
thing
guitar.
that you always do, which is a guitar.
Your finish.
Oh, that was a bit cack. It's like we've got two people that are stars, but we can't just let them have a normal match. We've got to throw a lot of bollocks at it.
I agree completely. Booker T cuts a nice promo telling Scott Steiner, "Booyah, I'm about to get with you."
Booyah was his thing for some reason at this point.
And Booker T's definitely been told you need to be a bit more like The Rock, find yourself a catchphrase, and he tries a lot.
Yes.
He throws every catchphrase up. Steiner is an absolute madman in the build of this package. So Booker T, I think, has done the honourable thing in buying Goldberg a bit more time, which is it annoyed me a little bit because
the fact that he's going to get over his concussion in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm confident he'll be fine. But it did annoy me because I thought actually that had the worst logic into why Goldberg Kronik ends up being the main event. But hey ho. There's a replay of the Sting attacks. Michael Buffer's appeared, by the way. He gives us the big build.
I do like how Buffer says Medage. Medage. He's my favourite freak. Thanks, Buffer. You're 20 grand.
Booker is out first, which again isn't for me, but I get it because Big Papa Pump has to be pissed off that he's been called backstage and he's unhappy. He heads out with Medage. WCW title match is not the main event. Scott is pissed off. He gets very hot at Stevie Ray at the desk and with the fans. Booker gets the crowd going as they size up. There's a big elbow by Scotty, but Booker recovers with a spinning forearm for a 2. Papa is hot with the fan, but gets back in the game.
You can't just call him Pop.
I'm calling him Papa. Point to the ribs.
He's not big and he's not pump. He's Papa.
Papa. But Booker, and he lays in stiff punches to Booker. Big spinning back kick by Booker, which gets Scotty 10 in the corner. Madeja tricks Booker, and he's clotheslined outside and clocked with a chair. We spill into the crowd very briefly.
Again.
A second table breaks as Booker is slammed through it in front of his brother. I wish they'd have played that up a little bit more.
Yeah, he's like standing off.
Yeah.
Where was Rick?
But I don't think Stevie Ray's a very good actor, if I'm honest.
No, it just always looks like he's probably going to laugh.
Big pop and pump elbows. So he eats his elbow and wishbones Booker. Booker recovers, hits a reverse neck breaker. There's a big clothesline by Scotty, followed by a very nice Brett row. Is it like a Samoan drop?
Samoan.
Scotty does his press-ups and taunts, and then he low blows the slow Booker, hits a belly-to-belly at the corner. Booker nicely avoids Scotty, who falls through the ropes but recovers with a clothesline. Gets an air fall, goes up top. Madeja stops him initially, but he just hits it anyway.
I think he does too quick.
I think he does as well, yeah. I think he's supposed to slow. Axe kick, but no cover. Scotty's handed the pipe. He's not thrown out by the referee. He just batters him. And then he batters the ref. And then he puts him in the recliner. And then a second ref is laid out. And a third ref eventually throws it out. And I know it's not the main event, because if that was the last shot, I would have been really annoyed with the finish. I get you trying to get Scott Steiner over, but couldn't you have got Booker to win and then Steiner go mad?
Yes.
Rather than it just
Like
be
a fluky win.
Yeah.
You could also at least incorporate Stevie Ray to where he causes a bit of a DQ.
Cost him, exactly, yeah, exactly, and that just
And then
keeps
you
him.
intertwine Stevie Ray and Booker, I don't want you involved, and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just not how I would have done it.
No.
It wasn't the worst by a million miles on this card.
God.
And I don't mind Scott being portrayed as a madman, because he is a madman.
He's a madman.
I didn't like the ending. I wish the first referee had thrown it out as well, more so than waiting 3 referees to throw it out, because that suggests that by the second one he would have just won with the recliner.
I'm all right with that.
But yeah, I just thought it was a little bit stupid, but I would say Booker T and Scott feel like them in the prime, and they work so well together. Like they do really blend
They are
together.
basically the top 2 for the rest of the company's existence.
That's why for the
basically.
next 6 months. They do feel fresh, though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I thought they worked well.
I'm sort of similar to the Brett and Shawn, are they, in the WWF? The tag wrestlers who
Yeah, it's a good point.
built
Actually.
the way up, and that's the feud. So sort of like this is the new generation.
I don't want to see
just
Iron
after
Man.
yeah, you're right. I don't want to see a 60-minute Iron Man.
No, but you know what I mean. It's sort of like them tag wrestlers who've been built to the world
That's a
title.
good way of looking at it. I never looked at that before. I think, and it does feel like these are the only 2 credible stars that they've had a proper journey with. They've either bought the stars in from WWF who were created elsewhere, or they've had Goldberg, who was like,
Well,
was
everybody
a
else
star.
who could have been that has gone.
yeah,
They walk on to the fair, don't they?
But I thought they worked okay together. But it's just WCW again, eh? Jack?
Yeah, I thought the match was rolling along nicely, nothing spectacular, but nothing bad. And then the finish, I just think isn't very creative.
Yeah.
There's creative ways to get the DQ if you want Steiner to be the DQ.
Yeah.
I had got a problem with him being the madman, and I'm just going to batter everyone. That's fine, but I think the way they got to that was pretty poor.
I'd agree with
Which I
that
suppose.
completely. Yeah.
But the actual match itself of just them 2 putting together a match, I thought was quite good. It's 2 fresh characters at the top that people care about. So they've got the right 2, I think, in the world title picture.
Yeah.
They've just done a bit of a shit way to get another match at Mayhem in a cage, I think it is.
It's more like an Hell in the Cell,
it's
the
like
way
a
it looks
silent
like. And they're like
isn't
a
it?
straight jacketing.
Is this where Steiner picks the belt back up?
Yeah, that's when he wins it and he holds it until
Until the last Nitro when
Nitro.
Booker wins it.
Probably feels like the right arc, to be honest.
Yeah.
After more chaos, we see Kronik's issues with Goldberg, which I've got to be honest, I'm not sure what they are.
Why do you hate this?
I don't know anymore.
Please explain.
Oh God, Brian Adams has got a microphone.
Oh no.
He cuts a terrible promo.
Oh no, crush.
He says Goldberg hasn't been cleared, so he's done.
We've won.
We've won now.
Go home.
Really? What if everybody went, right?
big light on.
Oh,
I love
big
how
light.
the
Big light on.
but we see backstage that the Athletic Commission like to leave everything to the last minute. They go over and tell Doug, it's all right. Go and get him.
He's all right. He's cleared Doug down. He goes, "Back, bloody time." Why are you bothered, Doug?
When he's going to headbutt the door.
Hold on. Oh, God. Not
Check
again.
him again.
Bugger him off. God.
Oh,
Off with
dear.
him.
Imagine all this crap and he loses.
Oh, that'd be funny. That one.
Retired.
Goldberg ends out. So he rolls in and he's double teamed. He tries to slow the offense, but he's sent outside. Kronik are on top briefly. They hit a double shoulder tackle. A table's brought in by Clark, who it's a DDT. Goldberg fights back. He kicks Adams out the ring, and spears Clark through the table and wins.
Where was the smoke? Why was the smoke there?
I don't know.
Because they come up when the thing comes through the rings. Normally that's when they get it. But they just have random smoke appear.
Maybe
It happened
the Warrior was
war
there.
match. Oh,
Yeah.
probably Renegade was still waiting.
But it's not over because he's got to beat both of them. So Adams gets in.
Did they actually announce that?
No, of course they didn't. Adams gets a 2 on a full Nelson slam. Goldberg leaps over him and hits a spear. There's a jackhammer and it's over. And literally 10 seconds later, it's like, see you later, folks, we're gone. Get out of this. I mean, I just do not get what the plan is here, because Goldberg should either just run through them with no real offense from Kronik, but it doesn't make any sense that Kronik would be like that.
Yeah.
So if he's you've got to make him survive a bit with maybe playing up to his injury, or then what? Like, you've just squashed your LOD badasses. Like, for a new streak, that doesn't matter. Like, I think by Starcade, he's gone, isn't he?
He loses because the whole thing, I think, is that when starting the streak again, if you lose though, that's it. You know,
it's the Flair thing.
Yeah, but he loses to Bagwell and Luger.
Yeah, we see that.
And I think that is on Starcade or something. So have they announced that he's going at this point, or is it just that he's got another streak?
I think he's just got another streak.
And I don't think they've announced if he loses yet that he's going to retire. But the thing was, he was going to do a movie.
Yeah.
But then the company died, so he never came back.
I mean,
and they Kronik tag champ by the end of this.
Yeah, well,
probably.
Yeah.
Like,
sure they'll win the tag belt.
Just rubbish. Real rubbish booking. Wrong people feuding with the wrong, in the wrong way. Kronik definitely, I feel like baby faces. Having this as your main event. I mean, Halloween Havoc, according to Bischoff, was what he felt was their main show as well.
Yeah.
Like
but Bischoff were there at this point.
I know, but it just doesn't feel like this show matters at all based on this move. I would have felt better if Booker had just beat Steiner, because it's not like a WrestleMania style main event, but it's just at least it matters to the company.
Yeah, you could have swapped it round, as you say. Have Booker win at the end, something to do with Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Steiner then starts attacking him, and then you've got to cut to black, and then you can go on Nitro. Oh, hang on, this is what happened after the pay-per-view, after we have to finish.
And you've got the hook to continue your TV.
Exactly.
Here, it just feels like, well, that's it. We've got that bit done now. Because it just feels like that's what I'm saying in terms of, I think Russo might have just left. Because it does feel like someone's gone,
I'm sure
we're going to have to sort this shit out.
It's similar to Unforgiven 99, because that was his last WF pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This is sort of similar, but he had gone at this point. So
well, I will talk about Russo's booking a month prior in a week or two when we do our next episode.
God.
Anyway, Jack, thoughts on this match?
Well, it's pointless. It's like a dark match. It's like it's like we've built the whole show around this, and we've given you 3 minutes, and it's just the standard Goldberg, and we've killed 2 people that don't really need to be killed. We could have killed the Harris brothers. That's fine. They get killed every week. These lot.
I think I could have forgiven them if it was the Harris brothers in this. But
they've been released.
They felt like the organic team that the crowd for some reason got behind. We've killed them now.
Turned them heel. I understand that.
It's just pointless. Like, well, is that what I waited for? All show for that?
Get your coat
the dark match.
And going home. Sam?
I mean, it was just strange.
Where's he going now?
Yeah.
Goldberg.
At the end of this show, you would think, well, where does Goldberg go now?
Yeah.
Who's he going to get to? He's going to go for the belt, surely. Yeah,
Well, I thought maybe they could have creatively tied in the fact that Booker was doing him a favour, and then he gets intrinsically tied in with the Goldberg. But the problem is the general lack of depth, and the undercard feels so far away from the main event because for the 5 years now, WCW has basically told you that you've got your main event talent that beat up everyone else, and you've got your cruiserweights. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And everybody else in the middle was just like
all the US talent left. Benoit, Raven, Regal, you throw in Jericho, all these people have gone.
All them others, yeah.
Left with you, Morris.
Creating, and the problem is as well, even the sort of Nash's, Hogan, the ones who could lose to set up to give a win.
Scott Hall, he was the only man.
I don't think
could have gone.
There are a lot there. Like you can't really have Booker. You can't really have Booker and Scott lose at the moment because they are on the up.
Yeah.
And Goldberg, by his very nature, is a character that shouldn't lose. So it's a really, really tough position to be in.
And they've already turned him heel.
They are desperate for Jim Duggan to be the breakout star.
Come on, Duggan, we believe in you.
Overall thoughts on the show then?
That's bollocks. It's horrendous. It starts okay. Well, it starts okay. Like this could be okay, and then within 45 minutes, it just becomes a train wreck that just keeps piling up.
Yeah,
and it never gets really any better. There's a tiny bit of sunlight with the US title and the world title sort of match before the finish, but everything else is just a disaster.
Yeah, you can hear
it's pointless. It's like if I skipped this pay-per-view and I turned Nitro on, the only thing that I would have noticed that was different is General Rex as the US champ, and I think he drops it by the next pay-per-view back to last.
Well, ironically,
no surprise.
Ironically, in telling me as well that you would have thought, Major Guns is now back with the MIA, and then she's not because she turned. So realistically, in terms of general movement, general movement, same GM, same world champ, same tag champs. There's no belt change hands on this.
This is the US.
Oh, the US,
yeah. Which they retcon within 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, and Goldberg is still employed.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest takeaway is not just the lack of quality, because I don't really go into WCW 2000 and expect a lot, but this is one of the worst paced shows in terms of the flow of the show that I've ever known. There's way too many matches. Way too many matches. There is no justification to have 11 matches with the roster that you've got. No one matters. That most of the matches and angles didn't get time to breathe. It does feel like I'm getting better. Because I do think
they're just tying up the loose ends of Russo and trying to get to.
I think that Booker T Scott Steiner match 2 months prior would have had 4 run-ins. I think them starting to get away from every match ending in a run-in. They're trying to be a little more creative than that. But they are so far behind that they are trying desperately to catch up by making decisions they shouldn't be making. I think they're doing too much because they're thinking we're miles behind WWE. We've got to try this, something.
Especially at this point.
Yeah, they're miles behind.
Because Angle wins the belt of Rock at this. Their equivalent
I've always said
2000.
I am a massive fan of WWE in 1999, 2000 anyway, but it's night and day.
By the end of I think from SummerSlam onwards in 2000, that's when it properly sorts itself out. I mean, you got Rumble, which is okay. Mania we've watched.
That's terrible.
Shit. I think people say Backlash because that's when Austin comes
King of the Ring is terrible. That's a 4-minute thing, isn't it? So, but
Fully Loaded, that's it. 'Cause everybody says Fully Loaded 2000s the good night.
I just think that even if WWE put on a similarly poorly paced show, you would at least get 1 or 2 matches that matter. There'd be a reason to watch a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
okay then, match of the night. Jack.
God, is the one. I'll go with the US title because at least it feels the most complete for me that mattered.
Oh, I've gone with the US title match as well.
I've gone for the tag title match. At least it was okay, and there was some.
I think they're the two best matches. Worst match?
God, there's loads there, really. I just hated the kickboxing thing, so I've got to go for the kickboxing thing because it just annoyed the fuck out of me, everything about it.
Well, I hated the Vampiro match, but I can't get away from the fact that Tigress and Conan versus Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson is the worst match.
Oh, I've got to go with that as well. The next tag match.
Shane Douglas is your MVP.
I love Shane Douglas, the best of that match, but yeah, Conan lost to Tori Wilson. MVP?
I'm going to go with Scott Steiner. I'll go Scott Steiner.
Well, I'm going Lance Storm.
Yeah, Lance was.
I was torn between the two. I think I'll go Lance Storm.
LVP?
Well, there's a lot in there. I mean, I'm all shit. It's just crap, really. But well, there's me for watching it. There's the cat.
I think there's two real standouts. Well, three, I suppose, if you can't count.
Well, I'm going to get Kronik as a whole.
Yeah, I think to me it's either got to be Kronik.
Just Brian.
If you're talking about people who go in and then come out feeling a lot worse, you've got to talk Vampiro and you've got to talk Kronik. But Kronik was in the main event, so I'll go with Kronik.
Vampiro, people might forget that happened.
I'm going with the Natural Born Thrillers.
They are
just way too fucking much of at the beginning.
Overbooked at this point.
It was.
So, we take, I think, the easiest task because all you would have to do is book the same show and cut 4 matches and it would feel better. But I think we'll take the task now to rebook Halloween Havoc 2000 and do it better. I assume, and I always ask this, we've got cards and no in-depth story.
I've got cards.
You've got cards.
Well, I got 1 card there, you got 2.
Okay, well, we'll start with you then, Sam, for your rebooking of 2000's Halloween Havoc.
Right, so first match, it's Buff Bagwell v Luger. I'd have Luger come out on Nitro.
Yep.
Do it then. If you want to do a swerve, have him come out then.
Yeah.
Beat up Buff. If you want to do the DNA bollocks with fucking David Play, do it on Nitro and have Buff get beat up by Luger, and then have the match at Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
Next match, Goldberg v Douglas.
Ooh.
Watch out for that. You can have like Goldberg again if you want to do the streak thing, and then Shane Douglas like I'm going to be the one that ends it this time, and he's gone. And
we're going to get franchise.
That all bollocks. So you can have that. I'd have Luger win the first match, Goldberg win the second.
Yep.
Next match, Sting v Jarrett. Just give him a story. The whole Sting thing, I'm with you. It's shit, but at the same time, I kind of like what it was. But just give it a reason.
I thought it was entertaining.
It's entertaining. Just give it a reason.
I just don't know why.
Why are you doing this?
What does this matter?
What's the point of this? So give him that and have Sting win.
Yep.
Something like that. Next match, Cruiserweight title match. Mike Saunders v Chavo, and have Chavo win. Get that belt off that mook. For God's sake.
I don't disagree with that. I think this company really lacks a cruiserweight division at this point. Because it is such a big part of... I mean, whether they've got the wrestlers for it, but it's such a big part of their identity.
Yeah. Well, they've got Ray, they've got Kidman, they've got Chavo, and there is
Psychosis is still around.
Psychosis is still knocking there. Yeah, he looks Skipper. You got Kid Romeo, who's the least cruiserweight. So that's what I do. The hardcore match is Reno v Conan.
Yeah.
I did put Conan just because, look, Filthy Animals v Natural Born Thrillers. Give them one fucking feud.
At least,
don't have people feuding all over the place.
That does make sense.
Keep it Conan.
Putting over Reno.
Well, I would give Conan the belt, because at least he's a bit more recognisable than fucking Reno.
Yeah, that's true.
And nobody cares about the hardcore belt anyway, so, here and that. Next match, tag belts, Natural Born Thrillers v Ray and Kidman only.
Yeah.
That's it again, going on the Natural Born Thrillers v Filthy Animals feud, whatever. Have the Natural Born Thrillers win, because at least Kidman and Ray can walk in through shit and be chucked around.
They're bigger than
whatever.
Exactly. It's feasible.
Yeah. US title, do a 3-way, Storm, Awesome, Vampiro. Awesome, you're not 70s guy anymore, you're Mike Awesome. You could have this where Orson turns and joins Landstorm, beat up Vampiro if you want to turn Vampiro face, which, I don't know, he's more of a tweener or a heel, but I wouldn't let him fall on face.
Yeah, it's such a difficult one. Vampiro's such a difficult one.
Yeah, it's sort of like make him like the character that can fight him, but it's sort of like Taker in a way. You can fight anybody.
I get that.
But you can have Mike. I don't know if Mike Awesome, I think, towards the end is due to join Team Canada.
Yeah.
He's still got the bus.
Yeah, he's definitely.
But he's a Canadian bus. Yeah, because he's been washed. Jack knows what that means. Washed. But Landstorm would return. That way you can have Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
Join him or whatever. The world title match, Booker and Steiner, I think I would go with what I said earlier. You can have Stevie Ray on commentaries trying to help him. Maybe even if he's in the recline, maybe do the title change here and do the throw in the towel kind of thing. Or if you want to keep it on Booker until Mayhem with the cage, have Stevie Ray get beat up, Booker like roll up, whatever, go after him. Steiner starts beating him, then cut to black and say this is what's happened. And then maybe not have Booker on telly for a bit or something. I don't know. But there's a couple of ways you can get there, but that's what I would do. You got to keep these two in the world title picture.
Oh, without a doubt.
Don't muddy it to keep these two as
I completely agree with that. So my rebooking, I would start with a three-way dance tag team titles match. I didn't hate it enough to rebook it out. I think I would probably take the titles off the Thrillers if it was just me, but I think I'll give the Animals the win over the Boogie Nights to piss off Sanders and his crew. Now, I'm going to leave Mike Awesome and Vampiro on the basis that there has been a feud going on. I don't. Well, the fact that we see the go through a table and all that crap. I would have Vampiro go to Awesome into giving him his title shot because I think I want Awesome to be stupid, and I would have Vampiro win the match, which would make Awesome very, very angry, and he would hit a petulant top rope powerbomb at the end, sort of showing his heel tendencies. General Erection is not General Erection. He is Bill DeMott, and he is fighting for America, and he is fighting Landstorm and Duggan. I'm dropping everything other than that, and Bill DeMott saves Damsel in Distress, saves America, and we have our US title back. Mike Sanders versus the Cat. I think I would have it. I definitely wouldn't have it as a kick match. I would have it
kick back
as a normal match. During the match, an angry Mike Awesome would storm out and want Mike Sanders to reverse the decision and give him back his title shot. He'd lay out the natural Thrillers, but also deck Cat in his petulance and allow Sanders to win. But he's still tweenery in terms of he's just pissed off with everyone, but he's knocked out the Cat, because my long-term plan is to move Mike Awesome into a more dominant, angry, I'm not driving a bus anymore. I'm probably the only one who's kept it, but I'm keeping Buff Bagwell versus David Flair because I think it was quick, short, and it just continues the bollocks. But I am actually dropping the Luger bit because I've already kind of told you I'm doing the Luger later on. I would have David Flair rush Bagwell and somehow steal his blood, so he runs him into the post. I mean, I probably would have him win if I'm going to have it as a match. So Kronik won't accept the money. They accept money for everything, but we won't end a man's career, so they won't accept that. So Mike Sanders makes it a 4-on-3 match, and Kronik's career is also up for on the line with Goldberg. So it's Goldberg and Kronik versus Sean O'Haire, Chuck Palumbo, Reno, and the franchise. But Goldberg and Kronik could win, and we can forget all about that.
Of course they would.
Palumbo and O'Haire would implode here, and we can focus on it. So, Sting versus Jarrett. Jarrett wants to be recognised as the number one contender, and he needs Sting moved out of his way. He doesn't want him as a threat moving forward. He's focusing on his career, blah, 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 blah. I'd have much the same as everything, but I would get the last one would be a Wolfpack Sting in a wig. It would be Mr. Lex Luger, because they were both in the Wolfpack.
He wouldn't have to paint, he was already red.
That's it.
And Mr. Luger would cost Sting, and Jarrett would win it was not a number one contenders, but it's obvious that Jarrett now is trying to move on to Booker. Booker and Steiner in the main event. Scotty loses. I would probably have Stevie not to the point where after he's hitting Booker wins. I'd want him to get involved to ultimately weaken Scotty, but I want Booker to still have strength to have to beat him. But afterwards, Steiner would beat down Booker, beat down Stevie Ray, completely lose his shit, and the whole show ends with Steiner having beaten up everyone. And he's a madman now. Jack?
Well, it's always been a madman.
Yes.
He's crazy. Match 1, tag title triple threat. I'm keeping it same. That's what both of us win.
Yep.
Match 2, hardcore title. I'm keeping it. Reno v AWOL. That cuts off at least 75% of the time, and Reno wins. Match 3, Elix Skipper is cruiserweight champion because in the month build up, I always go from like the month before.
Yeah.
He is champion. He drops it to Sanders. It's Sanders and Kevin Nash versus Elix Skipper for the cruiserweight title on a Thunder. Yes, that happened. Look it up.
Kevin Nash did have a cruiserweight title.
Versus Lieutenant Loco. And I'm going to give Loco the win here as cruiserweight champion. Canada v MIA. For some reason they hate each other. Match 4. It's Shane Douglas v the Cat. I would probably have this for a commissionership, but Mike Sanders is commissioner, so it's just going to be a match, I think. But Shane Douglas will win because he's paid Kronik to help him beat the Cat, because he just doesn't believe he can beat the Cat on his own. You silly boy. He got franchised. And I love Shane, so he's got to win. Then I'm going to have the segment of Bagwell coming out, kind of promo. Luger's going to come out for his return. I'm going to hug, blah, blah, blah. Beat you up, you're bleeding. Flair comes out. Syringe his head, whatever he does. So I've got your blood. Happy days. Match 5 is just a filler 6-7 minute flyy match of 3 count with the Young Dragons. Yep, they're all there. Young Dragons can win. Match 6 is the US title of Lance Storm versus General Erection. I'm going to have Lance Storm win by disqualification. I think Duggan maybe can help him win, or you know, Major Guns can cause a DQ by mistake, so she's still Canadian. Oh, bloody hell. Because I would probably leave this until Starrcade, because I would think that it's a Mania thing.
Yeah.
And I would have him win the US then. Match 7 is Goldberg versus Chuck Palumbo, Sean Stasiak, the Harris brothers, and Mike Sanders. And Goldberg wins, obviously. Mike Sanders can be the little weedy one who hides behind everyone, and eventually Goldberg will get him and beat the shit out of him. Main event is a fatal 4-way for the WCW title. It's Booker T, Scott Steiner, Sting, and Jeff Jarrett. Scott Steiner would have Jeff Jarrett beat. Booker T would come in and sort of knock him, or Sting could knock him, whatever. And then Booker's going to get the axe kicked on Jarrett and win, and Steiner's going to be mad like, I had him beat, what the fuck, I'm going to beat everybody up and leave them all laying. It would then lead to, I would incorporate Stevie Ray in a match at some point. I would lead to Booker v Steiner at Starrcade with a special guest referee akin to Ken Shamrock.
Mr.
Style. Yes, Mr. T's the only one that can calm Scotty's out.
with his nightcap on.
Some sort of UFC bloke at that time. Maybe Ken Shamrock.
Tank Gambit?
Not
Ken Shamrock would have probably been a free agent around that time, wouldn't he?
I would probably have looked up
WWF
Ken and get him in WCW or somebody like that. Not Mark Mero.
Not Mark Mero.
Respect that perfectly
It
clear.
would be Mark Mero.
But if you feel we should have used more Mark Mero, let us know on our website, which is bettercallcreative.org, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCCpod, or our Twitter, which is @BCCpod. We round out this episode, as we always do, with a fantasy card, and as Halloween Havoc will always have the history of the weird 2000s main event being a random handicap match, we thought, what kind of weird handicap matches could we come up with? So we have got a 6-match card full of the strangest of strange handicap matches. And Jack, I'm sure that yours are very strange.
Well, really.
Wrecked? No, I would always look forward to you having like Big Daddy
The rest of
versus
the
Sheik or-
shows that we're going to do later. But this is just...
Well, we'll open with you then, Jack, if it's a bit meh.
Well, It's the Bushwhackers v Hercules. I mean, that's, it's plausible.
Could have happened.
Obviously, the one on the round's always got to win.
Yes.
So
Herc goes over the Bushwhackers.
Yeah, we'll start with that one.
Well, I'm going with Mr. America versus Roddy Piper and Sean O'Hare, because who would be stupid enough to make that? Was it ever a handicap match?
No, I think it was. He just fought Sean O'Hare on one SmackDown to have the lie detector, and then he fought Piper on pay-per-view.
Oh, we did fight Piper. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we did it. No, it's Judgment Day, wasn't it?
And I'm not Hulk Hogan, Mr. America wins.
What a match.
My first one is TNA. It's AJ Styles v. Is it Andy Douglas and Chase Williams?
Chase Stevens.
Chase Stevens.
Mm.
I put
Nitro!
Nitro! With Shane Douglas. And AJ would win.
The New Rockers v Man Mountain Rock.
Fucking hell. It's at the main event.
That's pretty sad.
Man Mountain Rock wins, and he saves Rock because he is Rocky. for the ownership of Rock.
For the god of the world.
Yes.
Mine is a meat truck match. It's Jim Duggan versus Fire and Ice. And
God.
Jim Duggan is 3-point stance in the pair of them.
Next one is ECW. I've gone for different promotions, different eras. It's Taz v Danny Doran and Roadkill.
Oh, yes, lovely.
Because he trained him, so he's got to go over.
Did he? That's your fault, is it?
It's part of the dojo with
this.
Chris Chetty.
You never
Who's his
trained
cousin,
Roadkill.
apparently.
Private Party v Satnam Singh. Satnam obviously goes over.
Steve Blackman versus Recon and Tank.
Not even Sonic.
The worst of the truth committee.
And Steve Blackman goes over.
Tank. Christ.
Height of the Attitude Era.
That'd be one of the worst
Stone Cold.
I've ever seen. He got bitched out in his debut. Tank.
Yeah,
hell.
Tag.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold in the Height of the Attitude Era with the headbangers.
That's what the people
The
want to see.
should have been.
That should have been
Bosh.
Vince's first gambit of trying to get the title off.
Gotta protect
Instead of
Thrasher.
Doodle Up, it should have been the headbangers.
Yeah.
British Invasion. Rob Terry and Magnus versus Monty Brown.
Nice.
Monty Brown wins.
The Big Boss Man versus the Beverly Brothers, and the Beverly Brothers are going to be serving hard time because of course the Boss Man's going.
Next one, it's Cena versus Mitch and Johnny. Gotta be me.
How is he going to win?
And Cena wins.
Versus the whole Spirit Squad and the Nexus. And Cena wins.
No, just Mitch.
The Headhunters versus Iceman. You know Iceman. He's my favourite person we've ever watched.
He always makes his way back.
I love Iceman. I love you, Iceman. You win as well. You go over the Headhunters. The last one's a bit mad. I've just remembered what I did.
Rikishi versus Rico and Charlie Haas, and Rikishi wins. Rico and Charlie Haas always makes me smile as a team.
Yeah, good tag team.
He was on AEW last night.
Rico
As Rico.
Was it?
As
with Maximum Male Model.
Yes.
Oh,
Bloody hell.
Oh, because they wanted
Amazing.
Rick Martel there, the WWE, but he
I
didn't
just
want to
like
do
the fact
Is that
that
right?
Rico
Yeah, they
was on
wanted
it.
to try and get him to come in for him, but he didn't want to do.
That's the best thing that happened on Wrestle Dream.
Next match, Sting v Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got it all.
Got a Fire and Ice.
Twice. Fire and Ice twice.
And Sting would win because Fire and Ice would start fighting each other for a submission match.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why I did this. This was the first match I thought of as I immediately thought of this. It's Kai and Ty v Dory Funk. But I don't really know why I thought of that. But that's
Is it
the match.
Men's Teo and Dick
I
Toe?
don't know, give me any of them. Give me all of them. Dory Funk wins.
Why Dory?
I don't know, that was what immediately came to
That is
mind.
strange, bro.
Well,
Like,
it is how it works. My first one that came to mind was Henry O. Godwin versus Tatanka and Nikolai Volkov.
Shit, Volkov.
Your house.
This shirt.
And I'm putting over old
50 Cent Volkov.
Sent Volkov. And my main event is Hogan v Power and Glory. Was that the lowest team on there? Maybe the Orient Express.
Paul
but
Roberts taking
Power.
the pin.
Of course he
without
is.
a dash.
Of course he is.
Herkin.
And of course,
Looked all.
Hogan wins.
Hogan wins.
As all fantasy cards tend to end with. But
He could have been Big Daddy and some random tag team we hadn't
we didn't see Big Daddy today. Yeah, but if you feel we should have seen Big Daddy, let us know on our website, which is bettercallcreative.org, our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCC pod, and our Twitter, which is @BCC pod. It is now safe to leave your homes because Halloween is over, but we are checking out some staples from wrestling in the month of November as we celebrate the concept of war games by watching a war games that isn't using the same concept of war games.
It's so confusing. War games in name only.
Yes,
What is it?
It's Russo's Revenge. We're only hopping back 1 month or so.
What is the revenge for? What happened?
We'll talk about the whole concept of that then. It is bonkers. We're going to be watching the whole Nitro, and trust me, it's shit. But yes, join us for Russo's Revenge and his take on the war games. Then we will be checking out a Fall Brawl itself from 1995 as Hulk Hogan is going to get his first proper taste of war games as he assembles a team to face off against the Dungeon of Doom.
That's got Craig Pittman in a match
against fake Sting.
Cobra bloke.
Yeah.
The fucking hell.
Yep.
Well, that's the worst match, I'll tell you that now.
But we will be thankful. We will be thankful. We will be thankful for that we are free men and we can enjoy a bowl of peas because
we have had peas before.
We have definitely had peas before. And we will be finding out whether Luther Reigns has as we check out SmackDown's Thanksgiving episode from 2004. Thank you so much, Luther Reigns. You gave us a reason to do a random
Everybody
episode.
thought Roman Reigns had got up for drugs and it was you. They got the wrong one.
And then we will be into our Christmas month where we will be checking out some of the worst appearances of wrestlers in movies from the past. It's movie month, Sam. It's movie month. There's no fantasy cards, so you've just got to watch some films.
All right.
You're the chaperone. We're the chaperone.
Yeah. You're the knucklehead.
It's the chaperone. Yeah. But join us back for that for the rest of the year. But that leaves me to say from Sergeant Award himself, Jeff Jarrett.
Goodbye.
And from Reno himself, Jeff Jarrett. Bye.